service level.
Yeah, because we have things like national IDs and all that. So when we work with NIRA, we're literally working with government. When we work with the embassy here on passports and things like that, we're working with government. So that's how it is.
So would it be fair to say, for you to be able to execute your role, you would have to work with the government? Would it be fair to say that?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay. So what I understand is UNAA is not influenced by NRM. No, but because you lead Ugandans living in North America region, you have to work with government to be able to use their resources to help Ugandans.
Correct.
And the $50,000 is coming back due to the remittances we already sent to Uganda, and this is a grant.
Correct.
So tell us a little bit about the expenditure. How is that money used? Is this money that can I sign up for a grant as a student and get some of that money? Where does the money go, and how does it benefit Ugandans?
So, Paradise, in total, there is 100,000, okay, that is sent. The 50,000 I mentioned, that is UNAA, okay, and that applies to the UNAA convention that we organize. There is 50,000 that goes to the different communities that exist here in North America. So if you're looking at programs like scholarships and all these different programs that the different communities conduct, that can be applied through the communities. I hope that makes sense.
So, but can you break it down? Can you break it down how it actually gets down to the Ugandan in the community?
Okay. Yeah. So pretty much every community has its own what you'd call a local chapter. So they have pretty much what like UNAA has. So they have a structure where they have a president, and this could be, for example, I would use UBCA, which is the Boston community. So they have an executive which has a president, vice president, and so forth, treasurer, secretary, board members, and so forth. So they apply, so they submit a request for that money and give a proposal stating what they intend to do for their community. So they can put, things like immigration help, scholarships, and community events, and all these different things. And then for us as UNAA, we only vet the community. We don't send that, the money is not sent to individuals, it's sent to a registered organization. So once that vetting process is done, we approve that and send that to the embassy, and then the embassy wires the money to them. The money actually doesn't come to UNAA. UNAA just does the verification process, but it's the the Uganda embassy in Washington, D.C. that wires the money to that community, and then the community is in charge of the distribution of the funds and
So my other question would be, out of all the money Ugandans in North America send to Uganda, who came up with the 100,000? Because that seems fairly low, given. That seems really, really low.
So, Paradise, so that's a good question. Yeah, so this, actually, I was the one that submitted. We hosted President Museveni in Dallas in 2014. And I submitted the proposal to increase that money from 20,000 to 50,000. Okay. But at the time, that is what it was. Today, everything has kind of gone up. We just haven't had the chance to revisit that discussion. When we do, we will present what the current state is and see how we can have it increased. But on our side, the benefit of the grant is still there. It helps execute those services that need to be executed on our end, and it's beneficial. So that's where we stand.
Okay. So all right, I think let's move on from the grant. One other thing that over the years people have kind of talked about UNAA, and I'm sure you've heard this. Abantu bagamba nti UNAA eliwo for just the conference. UNAA kwegamba ya binyumo. Obviously, over the years, organizations like UBCA here in Boston is ZE. Actually did not know it has a connection with UNAA, but I'm glad to hear that it does. What is UNAA doing to make UNAA more of a anytime, all-time organization, rather than being that UNAA, Labor Day weekend, we go see some friends, hang out, and then we hear nothing. So what are you doing to sort of replicate what Boston has done in other communities?
Okay, so first I want us to appreciate the structure that exists, that UNAA is the national organization, and the chapters that are actually doing the work do belong to UNAA. Okay, so let's say when UBCA, for example, as a community is doing something, we are in the loop. Okay, so part of that is also an achievement that UNAA is part of, but because that president or that leadership in that community executing the work is your own community, you give them the credit, but that is also part of UNAA work. Yeah, and because we're national, we're doing this all through the United States. The challenge we have is, let's say, for example, someone passes away in a small community, and then people all of a sudden, because they cannot find local leadership, they're like, okay, now where is UNAA? But you are just that small community. We are national. We are doing this all across the United States. So it's based on our structures. And for example, I'm here with Gilbert. Gilbert represents Southwest Region 2, which covers Dallas, Arkansas, Oklahoma. So he covers a large region. Okay, and things happen differently in all those regions. When something happens in Oklahoma and we're helping them, the people in Dallas may not be in the know, but UNAA is at work, but through him. Yeah. Gilbert, you want to add on that? And
yeah. So Paradise, what happens? A good question though, Paradise. What he's asking, he wants to understand how a member living in a different state benefits from UNAA. And Paradise, I think this is something as Ugandans we should appreciate. When you come to North America, Paradise, we should encourage you guys have a platform that every Ugandan belong to a community. Choose whether in Tennessee and you're in Ohio, you're in Boston, you're in Texas. Please look for the communities where you belong, because those communities are having programs that can support you. Now, UNAA doesn't have the resources and the manpower to reach individuals, but UNAA will design programs that will reach people based on their states. For example, like Paradise, you mentioned, UBCA is doing a good job, UADFW is doing a good job, Ohio, LA, or Chicago. But we can't know until you as a Ugandan living in that community reach out. Paradise, I want you to encourage our fellow Ugandans moving to North America to step out. I know there's a lot of stereotype about but Paradise, Ugandans have structures right now that are working for fellow Ugandans. Let's focus on the positive side of things, and we can push together. And again, that's why I'm glad, Paradise, you're here, because you can share the feedback out there and we can do better.
And Paradise, just to top it up also on what Gilbert just said, not that the organization will serve you all the time as an individual.
Right.
A lot of times we have people who run into issues and they're like, okay, now what has UNAA done for me? UNAA may not have done something for you as an individual, but UNAA is doing work for other people.
For the community.
The thing is, we are a broad community. Yeah, the United States is a very broad community. Yeah, we cannot satisfy everyone, but we try to do so. And those members who are active, remember, we're a member organization. We are so many in the diaspora, but we have people here that do not even want to identify as Ugandans. Yeah. Okay, so when you complain, we don't know how to even start, because you don't want to belong in your small community, and yet you're blaming the big national organization. Let's start with your local community. What are you doing in your community?
Do they know you?
Yeah, we have people that run into a problem in a local community, and even the local community cannot help them because they don't know who they are. So these are the challenges.
Okay, so sounds like what you're explaining has to do with the hierarchy. So if I needed assistance as a Ugandan, my go-to should be UBCA, and then UBCA should be able to help me with the support of UNA. So
that's the structure. Yes.
What I'm curious about, because I live in Boston, I obviously know what UNA is, I know what UBCA is. The office is about 10 minutes from me. Why hasn't it been communicated, that relationship? I'm assuming if I don't know, I wouldn't think a lot of other people know. I would think the majority don't know. Why hasn't that been communicated, that UBCA is a representation of UNA? And also, why is there a new name? Why isn't it called UNA Boston? To make sure that people understand that if you get help from UBCA, you're getting help from UNA.
Okay. I think, so by constitution, good question, Paradise, though. By virtue of the UNA constitution, we have what we call chapters.
Right.
So I agree with you. That is a very big problem on behalf of the leaders of those chapters.
Right.
Because we have what we call chapters, and UNA does support those chapters. UBCA is a chapter of UNA. And I would imagine that Fande Momo and her leadership would be able to appreciate and recognize that UNA is, UBC is a part of UNA. But to your point, Paradise, that's good feedback. And I think we need to go back and remind our chapter and our affiliates that, guys, please let people know that what you're doing in your communities is hand in hand with what UNA serves.
Right. So, because I would like to draw your attention to the website, the UBCA website. I think it would make a lot of sense to say Uganda Boston Community Association, a chapter of UNA. Because this would help me know. I mean, I know the organization, but for what we thought it was an independent organization. Because I mean, UNA is not even under the partners.
Yeah.
So it's
you're right. You're right. So what happens, Paradise, is some of these chapters make it feel like it's that chapters will work with. For example, I'll give you an example. My region I represent. There's a big growing community of Ugandans living in Oklahoma, right?
Yeah.
Then IT, the young communities, there are so many in Oklahoma. They reached out to me and they said, you know what, we want to establish a community of Ugandans living in Oklahoma. Right. I shared with them the process of establishing that, and they applied. That way they can be able to be an affiliate of UNA. However, to your point, Paradise, you're right. Some of the leaders in these communities make it look like their communities are independent.
Opposition.
Right.
They're opposition. They are against, they make it look like for us in Ohio, for us in Chicago, for us, just example, right? For us in Tennessee, for us, we are as Ugandans.
It's based on the bias of the leadership.
Which is very wrong, Paradise. And to your point, Paradise, I think, Mr. President, we have to address that question. Phyllis, let them know that they need to communicate to their members.
It's the leadership that you have.
Yeah, you're going to come in, Sheila, just a minute.
Yeah. It's the kind of leadership you have in the community. Like I said, UNA is not political, okay? But there are people that are going to lead communities based on political lines.
Yeah.
And they will not want to affiliate with UNA because, they assume because, we have people maybe coming from Uganda who are policymakers or part of leadership or part of government in Uganda coming to discuss things here. They assume that is political. Okay, so by doing that, they distance themselves. What they don't see is that by doing that, you're cutting away an entire community from the benefits that come from this organization. So that's the challenge that we have there.
Sheila, you had a question.
My question is, if you're saying UNA is a big corporation and you're saying the states are a small corporation, isn't it UNA's job, or like agency or whatever, isn't it UNA's job to go to various states and start off the small ones?
We have council members.
Okay, yeah, I'll answer that for you, Sheila. Thanks for that question. Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, Sheila, let me answer you. Yeah, Sheila, good question. I'll answer you real quick. So, Sheila, maybe you're new to UNA, but UNA has structures in our leadership. We have what we call UNA council representatives. So every state, every region has a representative. What about MP, for example? Every region has an MP that represents UNA onto the leadership of UNA. Let me give you an example. I represent, like I mentioned earlier, I represent North Texas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas. I have colleagues here. I'm in Houston, representing Houston, Louisiana, Miami, Hawaii. They are here. We have Florida, we have Boston. So what you're saying, Sheila, good question. Those points you're raising right now, the leaders in those communities are not doing a good job. And you need to question them and ask them, are you pointing our fears, our complaints, and our issues to the executive? Paradise can share with you. We have Gladys Namirembe
from Boston.
From Boston. She represents Boston, North Connecticut, New Hampshire, Maine, and So that's their rep. So sometimes we want to share that feedback, but we want to share the feedback through structures. So Sheila, maybe you're new in UNA circles, but we will encourage you. What state you're in, let us know. We shall connect you to your rep in your region that will guide you closer to UNA services. And also, sometimes it's important that as a Ugandan, attend the conventions. The conventions ain't about the party, the boat cruises, but they're also about the networking and getting to know. I'm in Tennessee, I'm in Nashville, I'm in Boston, I'm in New York, I'm in Ohio, I'm in Chicago, and there are fellow Chicago people in the same community that you want to meet. So Sheila, maybe,
But you said you have leaders who lead regions, not states.
Yes.
No, not states.
Not states, regions. It's regions,
For example, I live in Arizona.
Okay.
The states near me are California, Utah, Colorado.
She's part of California.
Which are really,
part of California.
Really, really big states. Do you think one person can lead all that and go to all those states?
No, they can't. So Sheila, Sheila, you're very right. So Sheila, you're very right. And you know, like UNA began 36 years ago. Some of these states had no Ugandans. So Sheila, what we need is people like you. If you are in Arizona and you can establish a community of Ugandans living in Arizona, UNA will support you. All right? For example, I'm giving an example. I'm in Texas, right? Oklahoma and Arkansas are about 4-6 hours from me. I can't be there every weekend, okay? However, if you guys can establish a community of Ugandans living in Arizona, establish your structures, your leadership, your constitution, and say, we are Ugandans living in Arizona. We have our own structures, leadership, UNA, and you say you guys have a grant. Let's say you want to do a community event. You want maybe $2,000. You can apply through the UNA program, according to you, and you can get the money from UNA. Okay. So we want you guys to step up, because communities are growing bigger, Sheila.
Yeah, we do have
10 years ago, there was no Ugandans living
I have asked one.
Hold on one second.
Go ahead.
We do have a community.
Yeah, Sheila, go ahead,
I think it was just registered like a few months ago, and we have like about 60, 70 people. So I will get back to them and we see how we
please contact me, come to my DM or President. And Arizona is a big community of Ugandans growing in Arizona that moved to Arizona.
But they didn't have a community.
But they have no community association registered.
We do.
So there were just Ugandans living in Arizona, but they had no organized community of Ugandans living in Arizona. So if you can do that, Sheila, please, we can work with you. Paradise, over to you, my brother.
Okay, waliwo mwami wanaze, he had a question. Anasi, go ahead.
Yes, Thank you. So I was listening in, trying to hear you explain the money you get from the government and how it's being used and what. And then you go ahead and hide into the government does not influence us. How do you begin to explain you getting money from the government and then you say it does not influence you?
Anansi,
let me do this. Let me
Paradise. Hold on, Anansi. We're having a discussion. I would suggest that you please be a little bit more respectful in the way you answer your question, the tone you're using. Okay?
Okay, let me make this
in
clear.
a nicer way, please.
Let me try to explain it, because I'm not associated to UNAA, and I think if I understand it, people that are in my position should be able to understand it. So a simple example. Nchogere mu Luganda, UNAA eyamba Uganda okufuna national IDs. UNAA tesobola kuyamba Uganda kufuna national IDs wabera tebakola na government ya Uganda. If UNAA disassociates with the Ugandan government, they cannot do anything, because the people that they represent come from Uganda. I would assume if the leadership in Uganda changes, UNAA must work with the leadership in Uganda, because that's the only way they can get these things done. So Anasi, does that make sense to you?
Yeah,
so with that, there has to be a relationship between the two. So they can't do it independently. Okay. Did you have a follow-up question?
And Paradise, before let me add this on as well. That let's say you have a concern, okay, to do with national IDs and all that. Why would I pick any random person to address that issue and not the policymakers? Does that make sense? We have to get the exact people who are in charge of this to come over and explain this to you. So when we bring them over and then you don't show up or you boycott this thing because you assume, okay, now this is government influencing UNAA, then I think your purpose is lost right there. No.
And Paradise, before Anasa comes in,
you just
Paradise.
No, Anasa, I can assure you, you're gonna be able to continue.
Anasa, one more thing, guys. All of you living in diaspora, not just North America, the idea of dual citizenship was birthed in UNAA.
Yes.
Dual citizenship, the idea of Ugandans having dual, whether you're in Sweden, you're in London, you're in UK, you're in Canada, Middle East, the idea of having dual citizenship was birthed in UNAA. UNAA gave a chance to politicians coming to UNAA, and we put them to task and said, guys, we have Ugandans who now have American passports, Canadian passports, and they want to still remain Ugandan. For example, Paradise, you can bear me witness. In Uganda, today, to buy land, buy a SIM card, you need a national ID, meaning you have to be a citizen, right? And there's no way we can negotiate with government unless we had to give them a chance to say, guys, these are Ugandans, they're in the diaspora, they need services, they need to be able to transact, open bank accounts, buy land, transfer accounts in as Ugandans. Now that idea of dual citizenship, which is now benefiting all Ugandans, regardless which country you are, was birthed in UNAA. Now, Paradise, it began with, how much was it, $500?
Yeah.
It began with, the government said we got 400. The government agreed at first. We shall say, okay, Paradise, you're American citizen, we shall give you dual citizenship $400. UNAA came back and said, no, it can't happen. These are Ugandans. As we speak, that money was cut down. It's now $200 per head. And we're still pushing it down lower.
And even the visa.
To make sure, Paradise, so Ugandan, you have a Ugandan passport. Why should you pay a visa to come to Uganda? All those negotiations happened during the UNAA convention. We engaged. One more thing, Paradise, we had the lands ministry. Diaspora people invest in land and real estate. We know issues about land and real estate. We invited the Minister of Lands. We invited the stakeholders in lands ministry. We told them, guys, people are complaining. The fraud is too much. The titles are fake. How can we help diaspora? So UNAA, through UNAA, we launched the very first online land registry search system. You can now join online. You can go and search your blog in the country you are for your land title and see if it's legit. That began in UNA. All right. So just to sum it up, Paradise, you can ask me a question that there's no way UNA can simply say we can't work with the government in Uganda, which Ugandans have Ugandan passports. It's just impossible.
Yeah, Mukulu, okay,
so
thank
the
you so
only way we
much.
can do it is work together and coordinate together.
Okay, thank you. Anasi, go ahead.
I have no problem with the dealing with the government. It's fine with me. And yeah, thank you for the achievements you've come across with. But the biggest task here is you cannot be expecting to get however little it is, the money from the government, and then you expect them to move with what you want them to do at the right time. Government is taking UNA as part of a bonanza for its cadres. Say, if you have UNA, you have money set aside to send their own people to come and enjoy in UNA. And you know it because they do come. It's their time to come and have fun in the US, wherever they go, and then come back. They have a time, they have set aside money for them to go and just enjoy. That's it. What we are saying is do not accept them to fund for anything.
Okay, yeah.
So,
good question. Let me give some answers.
So let me make sure, Linda Gilbert, hold on one second. Let me make sure I understand Anansi well. So Anansi, are you suggesting that the UNA as an organization stops taking funding from the Ugandan government? Is that what you're saying?
That is part of it.
Okay, so what's the second? So that's one thing. What's the second thing?
That's one.
So
another thing I'm saying is,
yeah,
UNA should put across an agenda. If you say you have a convention of this, say this year,
okay,
put across an agenda where Ugandans have a chance to come and meet real people, not just to come and have fun and what, and then you tell us, yeah, we met with the ambassador so and so and did this and this.
But no. UNA team. Just a second. What this is? Yeah, let's let him finish because what this is gonna do? Allow me to process the answers so that it's easier for you guys. The things that we already know, we don't want you to repeat yourselves. Go ahead, Anas.
Yeah, because the problem we have is government looks at UNA as part of its extension of the diaspora in a political way, not in a way of helping Ugandans. That is how they are looking at the UNA thing.
Okay.
So now we are we're going to reach the election season and what? You had them talking about making Ugandans vote and what. Their target is different. We are fighting to get the lands to get a chance to have an ID that works all the time. We are here, there's no ID. So that means whoever does not have a valid ID, you're not going to have your plot of land transferred to your own names.
Anas, I have a question. I have a question for you. When was the last time you attended a UNA conference?
Why should I attend something that does not have a clear agenda?
So it's gonna be hard for anybody to have a conversation with you if we've never been to UNA. However, they can the UNA should still be able to answer your question. Because the people meeting each other and finding resources, that I have been there. I can attest to. That UNA has so many things. In fact, you will choose what you want to see and what you don't want to see. There's college programs, there's people that are teaching about farming, there's vendors. So that is there. But echibuzo chogambi mukulu anase agambye, can UNA work without accepting funds from the Ugandan government? I think that you can answer. Mulimu mute. We can't hear you.
So, Paradise. So, see, this is the biggest challenge we have. And as we speak today, we are over 13 conventions in the diaspora, partly because of the mindset that Anas brings up. Okay. The thing is, you want UNA to disassociate with government.
No,
and yet you're not
no,
participating
No.
in what UNA is.
Gilbert,
say
that's
that.
not what he's saying.
Please, I did say
We,
that.
guys,
Say-
we can give him a chance to say it again. Obashila, you can reiterate it.
Tagamenti mwa disassociating any government. He has said, can you function without getting funding from the government? That's the
So-
Exactly.
So Sheila and Anas,
can
let me
support our
explain. I was executive secretary Okuva 2019. Okay, I've been running UNA conventions all through. So we only get 50,000 from the government of Uganda. Okay,
Can
our
you function
budget.
without it?
I'm explaining that.
Somebody said 100,000.
The UNA. No, the other 50,000 goes to the communities. It's distributed by the embassies. I'm talking about UNA specifically. Okay. Now, our budget is 350,000 to 500,000. Okay. We only get 50,000 from the government of Uganda. Okay. The rest of the other money is contributed by members who attend UNA conventions. Okay. Now, it's a disappointment. As a leader, it's a disappointment that, when I hear someone like Anas say something like that, and yet he does not attend conventions. I don't even know if he participates in the local chapter that he's
But
in.
he needs to be given a reason too. That's what
Even
he
in your
wants right
community,
now.
you expect UNA to give you a reason for participating
Give
in
us
your
your reason.
community.
Sheila. Okay, hold on, Lambert. Sheila, let me ask you one question.
Yeah.
We all left Uganda at one point, right?
Yes.
Do you need a reason for you to belong to a community of Ugandans living in the country where you live?
Where you live?
But in Gilbert, I've lived in America for over 10 years. I've been in the Ugandan community in Boston, and when I came to Arizona, I've been in one, but I've never gone to UNA because you've never given me a reason to go. That's what
Okay.
I'm trying
Now,
to ask.
that's good feedback. That's good
That's
feedback.
good feedback.
That's good feedback, Sheila. Let me
Gilbert,
ask you
let's
something,
go
Sheila.
back. Let's go back a little. So, in the Boston community, were you part of UBCA?
Yeah.
I was part of UBCA. I was part
You
of the
guys,
Boston
I asked the
community.
question. You haven't answered even a single part of it. This is actually why I came up.
No,
so-
so
from the question all the
Okay,
time.
okay. Let's pause.
You have to
Everybody pause.
understand how the structures operate.
Okay, let's pause. And Anas, I think your answer, the first question that you had here, I wrote it down, was can UNA work without getting funding? I think from the way the budget was broken down until the budget is around 350
It's clear.
to 500.
It's clear.
So it's clear to know that yes, they can. However, if you put the money on the side, the other services that are needed, UNA cannot do without the government. So do you understand that part of your question?
Why should we hate Uganda?
That I understand.
1 second. So, Paradise, let me put it this way. Guys, we are in the diaspora. We could choose to do things on our own. Okay, and this and just do. It's like what you'd say, abakole chivulu. Okay, they don't need any sort of assistance. UNA can do that. Focus on the things that thrive, entertainment, this and all that, and generate the revenue that way. But because we have programs that are beneficial to the members in the diaspora who have things they do in Uganda, somehow we need that connection to Uganda. Okay, and that is why we provide those programs.
Okay, Anas, does that make sense? Okay.
Kamarizane chino. Maybe let me put it clear for you. Omuntu goyina gobanja lwaki omukiriza okubako kyakuwa, because we really demand a lot of things from the government. Why would you expect even a penny from them?
Yeah, so Anas, let me answer you. Hold on, Anas. Very valid question, very good question. That question joins the list of very many people demanding government.
Yes.
Doctors, nurses,
Teachers.
pilots, teachers, diaspora, engineers are all demanding government. Ngabo gambe Nancy nti lwaki omuntu gobanja omusako gunde. That's the truth.
Not kubanja in terms of money, in terms of service that you need
for
to be given
example,
to.
Anas, give me an example. Diaspora is the thirdest biggest GDP contributor in Uganda, right?
Uganda.
We're thirdest. Nenjala nkubuuze government ya Uganda esamu tourism almost $1 million. Esamu minerals $10 million. Government ya Uganda esamu make mu diaspora. How much they invest in the diaspora? We are the third largest contributor of GDP in the economy. We are ahead of coffee. Nenjala mbuuze government ya Uganda etuyambe ekya mu diaspora.
So Anasi, kambuze Anasi ekibuuzo. Anasi, do you think government in Uganda
pushes him further
Yeah, so
away.
Anasi government etuyambe ekya. Hold on.
Lenda Mukatini, hold on. Lenda Kokatini, guys, hold on.
Hold on. My budget in Uganda, mulimu tourism, mulimu coffee,
Where do you see
mulimu
that?
minerals, mulimu art and crafts, mulimu education, mulimu science and
Everything
technology.
else.
Everything my budget.
Except
Njagala
diaspora.
ombulire West diaspora in the budget of Uganda. We are the third largest contributor to GDP of
eyo
Uganda.
mentality yetuleetedde abasamize okusaba ekifo mu parliament.
No.
Munaffe tetukiikiriddwa.
Anas. We need to question these guys. We need to ask them to put.
When we are demanding for services, we do not demand for money.
In America, you cannot demand for service.
But what service in America can you ask for in
The
America?
service you want. You are
So,
in a different country. You don't
So,
need
Muninde
Uganda.
Kokatini,
Anasi,
Sheila.
you need the
Sheila.
So you're saying
Muninde
you're getting
Mukatini,
your share from
let's put
you.
a
Which share do you have in Uganda?
olw'okuba n'abalala bafuna.
What do you
Anasi.
I like the line,
Hold on one
like
second.
the line.
Hold on one second. I want to try to understand Anasi Java, and I think for the UNA leadership, if we do end up finding a point here, which I haven't found, you might actually take some feedback. Anasi,
Sure.
Chogamba, the Ugandan government, telina kuyamba, bana Uganda, babeda in the diaspora. Is that what you're saying?
No.
Okay.
not at all.
So what are you saying
Nze
exactly?
ngambi. Nze ngambi. Yuna, it is good. It is good. The work they are doing is fine. You clearing your passport, IDs, whatever. But what I'm saying is, why would you want government to fund or give anything a penny to
Okay.
UNA?
Let me answer this. Let me answer this. Let me answer this so we can move on.
Leverage over you.
Okay, let me answer this so we let me answer this so we need Nenda Kokatini Sheila, because we've given this a lot of time and I think we have to move on. So the point is for UNA to be operational, because of the nature, the fact that UNA ekolera bana Uganda. If let's say someone dies in Boston, nga UNA has a chance to contribute $1,000, it would make sense that $1,000 is coming from the origin of this person our food day. So I don't think the way that I see it and the way you guys are understanding it, temusobola kugamba tetwagala sente but we need your support mu passport, tetwagala sente but we need your support mu ndagamuntu. And if you disconnect yourself with the government, then you're just like any other organization je tutandise. You don't have any power, any authority. And Nancy, does that make sense so we can move on? Or do you have a follow-up question?
Being connected with the government does not make the government fund you on anything.
No, guys, you guys have made your UNA team. You guys have made your point. Anasi, emitwala 35 eja dola bojjako emitwala 3 wasigalawo sente meka?
5.
Okay, so government ya Uganda ewe emitwalo 5 ku budget ye emitwalo 35. No.
Yes, for what?
Linda, answer my question so I can answer yours. Omuntu wakuwaako emitwalo 5 nga wetaga emirala 3 abakufandinze oba abakuyambyeko? Kati ngenda kuddamu lwaki government ya Uganda eyambako abannayuganda abali mu diaspora, because abannayuganda basindika 1.4 billion buli mwaka e Uganda kati eza dola, kati kwezo billion 1.4. Yes, you can look it up. $1.4 billion every year to Uganda. So that's why government teyamba UNA. Singa government yali wa UNA emitwalo 5 wandigambye yamba. So abantu abamoving ati nekintu political olunaku lwolijja ku UNA nosanga campaign ya NRM, then at that point you have enough evidence to suggest that
Thank you.
I think we can.
Paradise. Can I also say
for
this?
what exactly?
Anasi, we have been fair to you.
Allow me say this, Anas. We are doing voluntary work.
Go right and comment. Someone muting because they are being disrespectful.
Okay, it's okay. Yeah. So we are all volunteers in the work that we do. Okay, and as one big thing that affects us as leaders is members who do not participate but complain. Okay, UNAA is a member organization. When we sit at the AGM, when we sat at the AGMs where we met quorum, we've debated these things. You're not the most vocal person. We have way more vocal people in this regard, okay? But in that sitting, a lot of people have seen the reason why the organization needs to continue this way. It's the reason why UNAA is celebrating 37 years this year, okay? So it's not new. We deal with this over and over. The thing is, it is only wise to be part of something, to be able to change it. Don't complain and not be part of it. It doesn't help. Katanas, who are here on TikTok, and I appreciate the platform, but it's going to stop here. I would appreciate if you came to the convention, attended the AGM, and said, guys, this needs to stop.
Exactly.
Okay? If you, as a member, rally that decision, I have no authority to disobey it. I'll just say, guys, this year we're not requesting for that funding, and we cut it off. But you need to take the step, and you need to participate. But if you're not participating, this is not taking us anywhere.
Okay, Gilbert, thank you so much.
And
also, okay, hold on, guys. Disclaimer: I'm Gilbert. He's Lambert. Lambert is the president.
Lambert.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. No problem. Yeah.
My question was: I have lived here and I've been in the community, but I've never been to UNAA because I've always thought it's political. Give me a reason to come to the next one.
Okay, I'll answer on behalf of that. So, Sheila, thank you. Good question. I was the chair of the convention in Dallas, Texas, 2023. And your question is very valid. Number one, UNAA conventions last for 3 days, right? So, for example, on Friday, we have what we call a trade and investment forum.
Okay.
If you're Ugandan out there interested in investing in America, investing in Uganda, if you're trading in Uganda in America, that platform is meant for you. What do we do, Sheila? We bring partners from Uganda, ministers, stakeholders. We bring the chambers of colors from America, UIA. We bring chambers of the state secretary of commerce in America attends that forum. We bring the ambassador who negotiates on behalf of Uganda in terms of trade and investment in that forum. What happens, Sheila? People don't attend. Then they'll all be drinking. They're partying. That's one example, number one, Sheila. Number two, we have what we call IT forum. Technology forum. Many Ugandans right now are into tech and IT. Young Careers Paradise has shared that with you. They're into tech and forum. We bring industry experts, Ugandans interested, who are working in this same space, who want to share ideas, enrich Ugandans in the idea of IT and tech. 2 days. It runs for 2 days, Friday and Saturday, free of charge. On that forum,
and then
we have a family forum. Family forum is about Ugandans, how we associate and acclimate in North America,
raising children in America,
so many times, raising children, dating, mental issues,
suicidal, and all these social
health and
issues.
science in a family forum.
Experts.
We bring panelists, Ugandans, actually, not even Ugandans working in that space, share their industry for free. For free. They come and share their industry expertise in youth, mental health, how to accumulate in the systems for free. All right. We have a youth forum. Youth. Again, organized for free. Youth activities. They network, they share ideas.
Career
they
guidance.
can get career guidance. We bring experts in. For example, Sheila, I'll tell you, for example, I work in a big company in America. I see so many people struggling to write their CV, right? But there are many Ugandans in America who have the ideas to help fellow Ugandans how to write a CV. Okay? So we have a family forum organized for that. We also have a youth exhibition. There is a sports day for the youth, outdoor activities. We also have what we call a political forum. Those who want to engage in politics.
That's their
We
time.
bring the Ghana ministers on board, opposition, government, independent, in one room
to talk
about how can we make Uganda better for free of charge.
Okay.
And then over the
Now,
3-day
the
weekend,
3 days
the embassy
summit up.
and NIDA conduct Ndagamuntu registrations,
national ID,
dual citizenship,
and passports.
So
For 3 days, for free of charge.
Ati Gilbert, I have 2 other questions to follow up on that. I have kids. My kids are 2 years and 6. Do you have a program for people who would want to come with their kids?
Yes, we do.
Abana babakola batya? Do you
So we have a
like
daycare. We have a daycare program. Daycare program. It's on the website. You can pay for it. If you want to go to the boat cruise in that Sheila, you want to go to the boat cruise and enjoy with the Paradise and I and Lambert.
Gilbert, if I come, I want to attend everything, basically every day. Is the program for all these days?
Yeah, so Sheila, let me ask you one thing. Yeah, I'm sure I've done an event before. Sheila, if I have only one child from Sheila for 3 days, right? As an event organizer, how can I manage that for 3 days?
But those are paid.
No, like usually organizations can kugamenga ugamba ngawe tugenda ku cruises. On the cruises, they have like a daycare center. You pay for it, but you can drop your kids there and then go do things as an adult.
Yeah. Sheila,
I think most of people also don't come because they have kids. Okuleka abana basasulira $100.
Exactly. Sheila, what we do, Sheila, what we do, and if you're a member, we send emails out in advance, right? Tufuna service yamuna Uganda, and we want to use Ugandans, right?
Yeah.
In Dallas, we chose a Ugandan company. In New Orleans, Uganda inanga ina company solo called daycare services. However, Sheila, those companies baba parents register in advance.
Okay, but that makes sense because the payment is
because those companies they contract UNAA with to provide those services. The parents won't sign up. Kati Sheila, tufuna contractor for 3 days. Like no mwana omu oba zero mwana. So what you can do, Sheila, if you're interested, right? We can connect you to a daycare facility in the convention city, and we can have the numbers for sure. Sheila will take care of you. New Orleans, there will be those services there.
Okay, so Linda Kotini Sheila, because I think they're running out of time. Just one question and then we'll let you guys go. Sheila, again,
Thank you.
mbadde ngamba ekisembayo nze ne waliwo gwe bayita setters tubadde tusabayo ku ticket zaayo.
What do you mean? Like, what is that? So ekibuuzo Aquaman we unmuting obuze ekibuuzo kyo yes but nage Sheila. Yes, go ahead, ask your question.
Discount for you guys maybe.
Okay, how much discount?
How many are you? What with numbers?
Ne Anas naye nzija naye sigenda muleka. Waliwo n'omulala yuyo mu comment. We are like 10.
I'll reach out.
It would be good to have this conversation with you guys physically on ground. It helps, because then you know someone is coming from a good place. They are not just trying to tarnish the UNAA brand, but they actually have a point that they're trying to address. It helps. It would be good to see you guys here in New Orleans. Come through. Let's see what we can do.
Guys, just please allow for just one more question. Aquaman,
Sure. All right,
hello guys.
Hello.
Yeah, Paradise. Thank you for this opportunity. Kakati, since I don't live in US, but I was once there. Program the Mogera K. Because me, I heard you were saying making Uganda as a better place, like with people who are living in the diaspora. My question is, how can you help someone who can start an NGO? For example, I'm a Marine personnel, and I operate at a national level. Kati triangle an NGO, yeah, Marine, like Marine Rescue Department.
Member of UNA.
What advice would you give that person?
So, Aquaman, the Gundi NGO ojagala jikola Uganda, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the question, Gilbert, do you have any resources you can point to someone to ayagalo creating a non-profit in Uganda in something that is unconventional?
We do have resources, but that's on individual basis, though.
Yeah, for people who are
So we can recommend some partners who work with lawyers in Uganda, but you have to be a UNA member. Exactly, but outside UNA members, Aquaman, we just simply recommend. We can't really say use this guy as UNA because one, you're a UNA member, and two, even UNA can't push someone in Uganda. We work in North America.
The scope of whatever you're interested in doing. We don't know what its scope is. Yeah, so yeah.
It's quite a big scope. Yeah.
Okay, I'm convinced I'm coming.
Okay, so we're gonna let you guys go.
Thank you, Sheila.
Thank you so much.
But Paradise, thank you for the platform. We appreciate
Paradise.
Paradise, I'm gonna challenge
not a
you.
problem.
I would
Paradise,
want to see you come and have a
us.
platform like this at the convention.
Now.
Thank you, guys.
I did last year. Last year I was in DC. I did.
We're gonna do
Yeah. Thank you.
This
So,
time when you
let
come
me
to
see.
New Orleans,
Yeah.
I'll give you dedicated space
for
and
you.
I'll even send you the people that you need to
for
be
podcasts,
and stuff like that.
stuff like
an indulgence cocktail too.
Okay, so let me just say this, Chisembayo. The website under the convention page needs some attention. As you can, I'm gonna show you just something quick. That's on the website, so you might want to address that.
Okay.
We're working on that.
Thank you so much. Yeah. So thank you so much for your time. I'll be reaching out, Gilbert. I'll probably go through you. And I think it will be good if we set up something a little bit more planned, more prepared.
Sure.
So that people can have an opportunity, because once you guys come out and speak, kyesikirizibwa kwogera because time is running out. I think UNA can use good communication, good channels, and use your YouTube channels to put the message out there so that people can actually have answers. Because abantu abali wabweru, it really is hard for you to explain to them if you don't speak to them.
Paradise.
But
Paradise.
Putting a face to that.
1 second, but set as
okay, set as abakulu bagenda tandikirawo. Tobuuza tuukira ku kibuuzo.
Kibuuzo kyange kiri nti discount mbadde sijutegedde sijuwulidde.
Gilbert, I'll reach out to you. Abantu betunafuna mujja salawo discount gye mutuwa. Guys, abakulu bagenze kale. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys, bye.